Bitcoiners, pre-coiners, no coiners, Swan Force members, welcome to Swan Lounge, a weekly show in which you get to hang out with the Swan team and some of our friends from the incredibly exciting world of Bitcoin. Now, before we dive in, as always, we are giving away Jan Pritzker's book, Inventing Bitcoin, for free in an effort to spread Bitcoin knowledge. And actually, for today's show, I should note, we also have it in Spanish, Inventamos Bitcoin. Reach out to us and we can get that to you. We're happy to spread the good word about Bitcoin in every language that we possibly can. You can go to swanbitcoin.com/free book to claim your copy. We have it in 3 different ebook formats and MP3 read by our friend Guy Swan over at Bitcoin Audible. All we ask is that you pay it forward by sharing the book with at least 3 friends and family or more, preferably more. Share it with everybody. Inventing Bitcoin is the book I send to literally everyone who is new to Bitcoin and looking to get started. It's short, it's easy to understand, and you come away understanding not only how Bitcoin works, but also why Bitcoin is so important, which is something we're going to definitely get into on today's show. And to all the Swan Force members out there, remember to look in your referral dashboard where you'll find a link you can use to send the free book offer while still getting the referral credit. Get paid to recruit new Bitcoiners, folks. And if you're not signed up for Swan Force yet, Swan Force, we've got a great referral program that, like I said, will let you get paid to recruit new Bitcoiners, and you can join no matter what country you're in, even if you can't sign up for Swan here in the United States. Go to swanbitcoin.com/enlist to get started. You'll earn 25% of Swan's fees on their purchases for 3 years, and your referral will get $10 of Bitcoin when they open an account with Swan. I'd also like to welcome anyone who is new to the show and to Swan. What is Swan Bitcoin? Quite simply, Swan is the best way to accumulate Bitcoin with automatic recurring buys, instant buys, and wires up to $10 million. We have the lowest fees in the industry for our services, up to 80% lower than Coinbase and up to 50% lower than Cash App. Stop wasting your money on fees. Stack those sats, people. And we have incredibly fast onboarding. Go from 0 to Bitcoin in as little as 5 minutes. I had a friend this morning who signed up for Swan, and he says, oh, I got to do this KYC. Oh, I'm already signed up. And I was like, yep, it's quick. So go to sign up. You can also pay yourself in Bitcoin. Why? Because fiat money, the US dollar, is designed to go down in value. Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million coins, and this will not change. This makes Bitcoin what we call sound money, and you deserve to get paid in sound money, not dirty fiat. Simply pick a percentage of your monthly income that you want to convert and set it and forget it. You know, time is our most precious asset, and Bitcoin respects your time. Fiat money does not. That's why we're here, folks. And given the massive wave of big name investors and corporations taking large positions in Bitcoin and adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, we have launched Swan Private to meet this demand, our concierge service for individuals and entities looking to buy at least $100,000 of Bitcoin in the next 12 months. We are here to guide you on your journey toward building generational wealth, and you can access those services at swanbitcoin.com/private. And I should note that anyone signing up for Swan, doesn't matter if you're a Swan Private, Swan Regular, you're getting the same Bitcoin and you're building generational wealth. So hop on board, folks. And also make sure to watch to the end of the episode because, as usual, my favorite segment, we will be doing Swan Force Fridays, where we will put our guests on the clock and give them 60 seconds to give us their best Bitcoin pitch. Now, before I bring in our guests, you know what I'm going to say. Hit that like button and hit subscribe. Doing so helps us get seen on YouTube and helps us grow the show so we can reach more people and help them see why Bitcoin is so special. All right, folks. Today, we have a very special episode for you. As you may or may not know, Colombia is experiencing a humanitarian crisis brought about by some draconian tax reforms, and the government is coming down very hard on its citizens. You know, there are many such places like this in the world, and unfortunately, this is just the latest. Swan's social media manager, Camilla, is from Colombia, and of course, this is very near and dear to her. With much of the news around Bitcoin focused on hedge funds and banks and Fortune 500 companies, you know, it's easy to lose focus on Bitcoin as a force for good in places like Turkey, Nigeria, Venezuela, and now Colombia. I'm going to be taking a bit of a backseat for today's show and handing over the reins to Camilla. Our focus is going to be why Latin America needs Bitcoin. We'll start by diving into the current situation in Colombia and hear thoughts and analysis from various Bitcoiners from Latin America. And then we'll move on to talk about why and how Bitcoin provides real hope. So, are you ready, folks? I'm ready. I think it's time for Swan Lounge. Don't talk yet, folks. I have to unmute you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bringing in Atlas. There he is. Welcome, everybody. Camilla, take it away.
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, gang?
Hey, everyone.
Yeah,
This is for the people who are watching. This is super special because it's a Latin community. We actually communicate with each other a lot on Telegram. We talk with each other a lot on Clubhouse, and it's very important to have these conversations. I love hearing these guys, all of the people that you see here, and I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. All of the people that you see here are super important to me, especially in the Bitcoin journey, because they are brilliant minds that know a lot more than I do. I feel like I'm a baby in diapers compared to their knowledge in Bitcoin. And when we talk about the Latino community, obviously it's very dear to my heart because all of these people come from Latin America. So I wanted to take the show to kind of just open our borders, get outside our little USA bubble. I feel like the conversation right now is just how, oh, Bitcoin is sideways, do something Bitcoin, or, oh, it's alt season, blah, 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 talking about like all of these other projects. But we're taking away from the spotlight of why Bitcoin matters, especially to a lot of us, because when we talk about Bitcoin, we're actually talking about freedom, fighting for that freedom, and for the people that are struggling right now in our countries, and like Brecky said, in Colombia. So as you guys know, I'm Camilla. I am from Colombia. I was born there in Medellin. And I'm gonna let the people introduce themselves and just say who you are and where you're from, where you're currently right now, and then we'll get on with the conversation. So who wants to go first? Fernando? He's on mute.
Okay, sorry. I put off my mic. So do you listen me now?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. So perfect. Now my name is Fernando Medina. I am Peruvian. I live in São Paulo, Brazil. So I don't know if I have a point of view of Bitcoin and in our region. So sorry, I don't understand if yes, I need to present me or I can speak about my point of view just now. What do you prefer?
We can just introduce ourselves and then kind of get into the deep, heavy conversation of what's going on. So we have Fernando from Peru. So yeah, guys, thank you. The connection of everyone around the world is super different. We're like in Dubai, in Brazil, in Colombia. So thank you for bearing with us. Eric, if you want to go next.
Sure. Eric Rodriguez, Ecuatoriano. I live here in the United States, and I had opportunity also to live a few years in Ecuador. So looking forward to the conversation today.
Awesome. Koti. Is he on mute?
No. Yes, he is. Sorry about that. Go for it, Koti.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm from Venezuela. I'm here right now in Dubai. So it's almost Saturday here, basically.
Wow.
And I'm new to this, like, you know, on these live streams in English. So thank you.
Koti, since you're in the future, can you tell us what the future Bitcoin price is?
It's going to be below 60K for a little bit longer. So just
That's amazing.
hold on tight there, huh?
Excellent. We can go down to Eduardo.
Thank you, Camila. Hey, guys. Eduardo Gomez. I am the customer support manager for Purse.io, a crypto startup that lets people buy stuff on Amazon with Bitcoin. I've been part of the community since 2015. I'm very proud to be here with you all, so thank you for the invitation. I am Venezuelan as well. I currently live in Argentina.
Very cool. Crypto Bastardo.
¿Qué tal?
Hello, guys. I'm Javier Bastardo. I'm living in Caracas. I'm from Caracas, and I work as a content creator and also helping Swan to be the better place to buy Bitcoin. And really, it's really great to me to have you all here, since we all have chatted in the past about Bitcoin, but this time and around the topic that we are going to talk today, I think that it will be a really nice convo today. Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And Atlas, the rebel of Bitcoin Twitter, as I like to call him.
You already know who I am. I'm from Colombia. I'm not gonna tell you where I am right now, but I'm from Colombia and I'm in Colombia. So yeah, I guess you just keep inviting me because I'm your friend.
Yeah, he's my Colombian Bitcoin friend and one of my favorite Bitcoiners. So of course we had to have him here. Yeah, so like I said, we're in different parts of the world, but I feel like we're in this together as Latin American brothers and sisters, especially. I feel like we have that very deep connection. And so there's a video that Brecky's going to show just kind of to give our viewers what is actually going on in Colombia. Obviously, this is a very PG version of what's going on. I don't want to like give the audience like the very hard videos and like the reality of what's going on because it is very distressful. So we're just going to show that video and then dive into the conversation.
Sounds good. 1 second, everyone. And this video comes to us from the International Crisis Group. Maximize that.
Colombia has awoken from a night of tremendous violence in various of its major cities, but above all in its third largest urban centre of Cali. This comes after several days of protests aiming to bring down a tax reform, which was formally retracted by the government a few days ago, but the protests have continued. We don't have clear, confirmed statistics, but at present there seem to be 90 disappeared people, at least 20 deaths of protesters, and hundreds of injured police officers. What we saw last night in Cali was running battles between groups of protesters and police forces who seem to have used live fire against those protesters. The context of these protests is, of course, the tax reform, the sweeping tax hikes in the value-added tax on certain basic goods and a proposal to broaden the tax base, which was aiming to fill a black hole in Colombian government finances, caused in large part by the recession induced over the last year by the pandemic. But this was so controversial, in fact 80% of Colombians said they opposed the measure, that the government finally backed down and is now looking for alternatives. But that hasn't stopped the protests. Why? Because these protests, in fact, can be dated back to the end of 2019 in a wave of marches against inequality, the security policy, the failure to implement peace and other such measures. What we've seen now is that these issues have got worse over the course of the pandemic. At the moment, the immediate concern now is to ensure that the police and the military, which have been drafted in by the government to assist security operations in major cities during these protests, do not continue to use live fire or life-endangering methods of policing while they are dealing with these protests. At the same time, the government must look beyond other parties, other political forces with which it has been negotiating its tax reform, and take into account the demands and the suffering of Colombians in the street in a way which can lead towards a program to handle the pandemic, to get over this recession, which will be to the benefit of as many people as possible.
Thank you for that, Bricky. Yeah, so just want to give a very quick overview of what's going on. On April 28, 2021, Colombians took the streets to protest the unpopular tax reform that was proposed and pushed by the President Duque. The reform is really unpopular because in a move to balance the economy, the government is pushing to tax basic foods such as eggs, rice, meats, milk, and fish during a time where the average Colombian is struggling to get by, to eat, and to survive. These costs of items are expected to rise 5 to 10%. There is also a lot of belief that Colombia right now is in the wrong path due to its government, and people are very unhappy about the corruption, unemployment, and the inequality, and they feel the politicians are very out of touch with what's really going on with citizens. So in an interview with the Minister of Finance, Alberto Carrasquilla, he thought that a dozen eggs cost around 1,800 pesos, when a dozen eggs cost at least 5,000 and averages around 7,000 pesos. So we have a lot of corruption, inequality, and the government does not seem to be responding to the calls. If people are going to the streets to protest, they are basically saying, I am willing to die for this cause because there is so much brutality going on. And people know that if they go down the streets right now, there's a possibility that they're not going to be able to come home. So I feel like this is a very important subject to talk about because this is reality right now. This is a world where Bitcoin exists right now. And it's just very important to talk about why Bitcoin is important. But I first wanted to ask you guys, how did we get here? Anyone can jump in.
Okay, maybe I will go first. Oh, so sorry, Fernando. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, I have a view. I have a libertarian view about this. I think that the growing presence of Bitcoin in the region is a symptom that people here is or are searching economic freedom. We have a history of dictators here, sequestering people, capitals, banks, creating companies, homes. You know, also the decentralized information that is feature of Bitcoin is also possible to apply to a news as well as getting of people. Before, people who thought that the government was useless had no way to express their point of view. Many of us believe that we are the minority since the media always supported the state in a way or another. In this sense, people today can join groups like Telegram or Signal, even WhatsApp. A result of this, that we are not few, we are probably the silent majority that does not consume news from television, that does not buy the newspapers. We could say that it's a new market and Bitcoin is perfect to meet our economic demand. It is important to emphasize that these events in Colombia as well in Chile are usually carried out by people who are unhappy with the government. But the politician left do this easy in the media, always appropriates these events and capitalizes better the acts to protest. Well, this is what I think in sense this movement. I guess Bitcoin is a very nice tool for us in Argentina, Venezuela, here in Brazil too.
Well said. I think, generally speaking, we all Latin American countries kind of have suffered the same hardships. This is one of the, I think this is one of the few regions of the world where things tend to happen at the same time everywhere. And this is a region of the world that have, in general, suffered the same kind of hardships. I'm specifically talking about things like dictatorships. So in the region, we have had like communist dictatorships, hard wing, extreme right wing dictatorships. So in general, what we have seen is just basically a destruction of freedoms, of citizens' freedoms, all across the board. And right now, we have Bitcoin, right? We have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a great tool to basically circumvent your own government. And there's no better time in history than today with Bitcoin to take sovereignty of your personal finance. So that's basically my view. Specifically talking about what's happening in Colombia, I think what we're seeing is in other parts of the world, obviously more developed countries like in Germany, instead of raising taxes, they're lowering them, and that shows that what we have here in Latin America is a disease. Our governments are a disease. They don't know how to effectively um, do economic policy. They don't know how to reduce the state instead of spending. Instead of raising taxes, why don't you spend less money? So why don't transform the state to be more efficient? Um, those are the kind of measures and actions that our governments here in Latin America they never take. It's happening here in Argentina as well. Instead of lowering taxes, what they're doing is just increasing them overall. And the state is bigger than ever. And the state here in Argentina employs millions and millions of people. So it's very sad. It's very sad to see.
I hope that yawn was because you're up late. And not good.
It was me. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Atlas? Because right now we know you're in Colombia, so can you give us a little bit of like a taste of what's going on right now?
Right. So there's a lot of uncertainty on the streets right now. So people are worried about their safety because, like, we know government is known for genocides. Like they'll do it. Like they've been doing this for 50 years. So we know how 5,000 people could just disappear. And it's like people here make $250 a month. So it's like that's why most people of lower income areas engage in illegal activities and stuff. And it was already violent, but with tax reforms, and it also gives the opportunity to certain groups to commit like murder and robbery because it all gets mixed up. So it's a tough situation because I understand why people are going out, and I have like most of my friends are going out, but I won't because I don't think it's gonna make any change, and I'm not willing to risk my safety over that. So I just stack sats.
Well, Atlas, you're doing great. Actually, let me tell you, don't. I mean, like, there is no need to risk yourself on it. Because
No.
I'm gonna tell you that I was in Venezuela in 2014. Back then, we had something similar, but for a very long time, like a whole year, I think, called like Guarimbas, that is basically like skirmishes, like small fights, urban fights. And it was a really tough time. Very, I think I would say 2014, and yeah, 2014 was the last year I really saw like a struggle on the streets against the government. And after that came the normalization, on the streets and in Venezuela. So right now I'm seeing this happening in Colombia that honestly saddens me deeply because, as you know, there are like more than 2.5 million Venezuelans right now there in Colombia. So imagine, like going out of a country like mine or ours, like, and then having to face these struggles plus the pandemics. Uh, and honestly, my point of view on this is basically that I'm very, I would say I'm an anarchist. You know, I'm kind of libertarian that way. I don't believe in like I want to live in anarchy right now because we need to progress towards that. I don't think it will happen. Maybe with Bitcoin, we don't know. But the thing is, I part from the point of view that governments they're like mafia, you know, like criminal organizations. You know? Like they take care of you, but if you pay your share, you know, like the taxes, they call it taxes. So always when there are like raising taxes for everybody like who's listening, I just want to say that I was studying sociology back then in Venezuela, so I kind of know about like these kind of social issues and read a lot about all this in the region. Eduardo was saying something that this region is basically all our countries share the same problems. Like uh, in our countries happens everything at the same time. No, like the same problems everywhere. Like what happens in Venezuela happens in Colombia and Argentina and Chile, everything at the same time. And that's not a coincidence, especially for Fernando that he's living there. Fernando Medina, he's living in Sao Paulo. And in Sao Paulo, there is something very famous called the Sao Paulo Forum. It's like the forum in Davos, but you know the communistic one in Latin America. And they organize this kind of stuff. They organize this kind of stuff since the 80s because they wanted to basically establish Soviet Union, the Latin America Soviet Union. So my only real concern was, besides people losing their lives and going out on strike and so on, that of course is awful. My real concern here is all this will be used by the other side of the political spectrum there in Colombia as a way for them to win the next elections. And that's even worse. It's like people say like, no, the right wing is bad. Look, I don't, the right wing in Latin America is basically socialistic as well. It's just, they allow more freedoms in the economical side, but for me, the real divide is socialists against libertarians or people who want free markets or free trading. So the problem is like now this is gonna be used as this government is bad. You know, they are real. They are thugs. They are the bad people, and the left in Colombia. They are very fond of my government. By the way, they're gonna use this as a way of yeah, taking power, let's say. And something that I've learned in Venezuela is that if people hate right-wing governments, well, once the left-wing governments make the revolutions, things are even worse and normalized, to say the least.
Can I
think,
jump in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify something Camila said earlier about like the tax reform. She forgot to mention what really gets into people's nerves is that in Colombia you classify people by the economic strata, right? So it's like zones. So you got zone 0, 1, 2, all the way to 6, right? And like the poorest zones from 0 to 3, they shouldn't pay like as much taxes as the upper classes. But now you got a 19% increase in all water, energy, and gas. So that's the biggest like punch to the people. And the other thing I want to say is like obviously I'm wearing the mask for security reasons, not for corona. I'm not retarded.
I already defended your position in the the YouTube chat, people were asking about your mask. I told them it was OPSEC. No, not virtue signaling.
Yeah, and we
Uh,
want to like focus on the conversation of what we're talking about, not what we're wearing.
Yeah.
I think something super important of what you guys were saying about people not knowing, like they like the left, they like the right, they basically have no choice, right? In their mind, we know that they have a choice and that they have a way of opting out. These people don't know it yet. What happens in our countries, especially in Colombia, when you go through elections, is that these votes are basically bought. And when you have so many people that are forgotten in rural areas, people that don't have any money, what these politicians do is that they go to these cities and they say, for example, hey, if you have my vote, I'll give you $5. And to these people, $5 are a huge deal. It's like a life-changing thing. So the corruption behind the political system going on right now is the absolute worst. Like, people think they have it bad here in America, and in Latin American countries it's completely worse, because these are groups of people that are completely forgotten and abandoned by the government, where they're supposed to trust these governments and third parties to be able to help them out. And at the end of the day, what the government does is that they take all of the money, they take money from their people and never give back to these people that chose them. So this is where like the corruption starts to come in, and it's very disheartening, and people just don't know what to do. And what you're starting to see is younger groups of people that are basically had enough, and they say, my parents may have put up with this, my grandparents may have put up with this, but I'm willing to go fight in the streets to say that, we've had enough. So that's basically what I want to say.
I think what Camila said is very true. I think that's another thing that pretty much repeats all across the board in Latin America. These governments, whatever their specific political position, whether it be right or left, what they mostly want down here in Latin America is to have a clientele. It's a political system where the government, the state, is almighty, and the citizen has to depend on the government, and that's usually what they do around here.
Yeah, and Camila, if I could just add my 2 cents on this, right, which I thought was really interesting in the video that was shared early on, right, was the role that COVID has had, right, and as someone that works in the tech industry, I think COVID has had several roles, right. One, it has kind of opened up our eyes to a lot of the challenges and inequalities that we have, not only in our countries but in our communities, right, and I think that has just blown up, especially in our countries. Like our Latin America countries. And I think the other role that's had, it's that it has accelerated, right, the adoption of digital of digital technologies, right, which is where I think the role that Bitcoin has as well. As I was, doing some extra work for today's conversation and reflecting back on what we lived through in the 90s in Ecuador, it's like just history repeating itself. And that sense of desperation that was in the country at that time was exactly that. Was that at that time there was a sense of there was no alternative, right? And so that's what gives me that encouragement for us to have this conversation today, is that we are now living in a very different world than we were in the 90s or in the early 2000s, right? There are different resources, there are different ways for us to connect, but also different ways for us to educate ourselves about the different resources our communities could have. So I don't want to take too much time because I want to also hear from Javier. But just wanted to add those 2 cents for my perspective.
That looking on things that are happening in Colombia, I thanks to remember things that I saw here in Venezuela, and I think that even though we are different countries, but we are the nearest, I think that we are a brotherhood of nations in all Latam, but Colombia and Venezuela have a really close relation. So it is really hard to see that they are following our destruction path. Like, see that the system that failed here in Venezuela is repeating itself in Colombia, as it collapsed before in other countries, like Eric said in Ecuador, but you can say the same thing about Peru, about Argentina, so and go on all around the countries in Latin America. And it is as like we don't really learn anything about what is happening in our neighbor countries. So, or are we not looking at how difficult things are going when you let the state take all the power and make the citizen little and little and every time more little than before? So it's like living in the future. Like I think I see people struggling, and I see many people suffering because of the destruction of the economy or the destruction of the institutions of the country. And when you saw times as this, as Atlas said, that you don't have certains, you are living through a disaster in the streets. Like how you can be cool in a country that have these kind of situations, and seeing this process repeating and repeating again in Latin America make me wonder, like, we have a chance to break the chain and stop repeating these things, because this time we have Bitcoin, and this time we can opt out of the destruction of our countries. That is what we are doing here. That is what make us to talk and share things about Bitcoin. That's why we are bullish on Bitcoin, and we can stay positive even in the destruction of our countries, even with the collapsing of fiat systems around the world, because any nation around the world could turn on a new Colombia, a new Venezuela, because it's the fiat system that is collapsing here. Is the fiat
I agree.
system the one that failed us? So it's like, well, we need to survive these struggles today and understand how we can change some things around us, some things inside us, and also some things around. And Bitcoin is a really powerful tool to do so. I expect to many Colombians, as in Venezuela, we can see that open their eyes to Bitcoin, not because of the gains and the money and blah, 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 because of the freedom that it gave you. So I hope that we can learn something from this.
Javier, I got to say a few things here. One, your pitch is getting better and better and more inspirational every time. Two, I'm just gonna put it out into the universe. Javier for president of Venezuela. I said it here first. on a Bitcoin party. And the third thing, while you're all talking, the one thing I couldn't help but remember, I hate to just be that guy who quotes the white paper, but I'm going to quote the white paper. The root problem with conventional currency is all the trust that's required to make it work. The central bank must be trusted not to debase the currency, but the history of fiat currencies is full of breaches of that trust. And when you're talking about history repeating itself, it's like that just popped into my mind, because that's why we're here, and that's what Bitcoin fixes. So I also want to welcome, we've got Miles Suter joining us from Square, and who's also involved in Bitcoin Beach. There's a lot of
Hi, Miles.
Hey, Miles.
There's a lot of heaviness going around right now, but Miles is going to bring us some hope towards the end of the episode, I think.
Well, thanks for having me, and sorry for being late during a bull market. It's every single day is quite busy, but super happy to be here.
No worries. Thanks for being here. All right, I totally derailed the conversation. Who wants to follow Javier's amazing speech just now?
I mean, I just want to say it's. Oh, sorry. Who was going to talk?
No problem. You can. No,
Okay,
problem.
I just wanted to say real quick, like that's the whole point of why Bitcoin gives us hope, because we're taking away the trust, the false sense of trust that we have in this government and putting it back into our own hands, right? If we have a society where we have Bitcoin, we're taking that power back. Like there's no way that anyone can steal from us. The people that work, because that's the beautiful thing about these Latin American countries. The people that work do it with so much joy and so much pleasure, just with the idea that, you know, I'm providing for myself and for my family in order for us to thrive and to survive. What's going on with the current fiat currencies, not only in the US, but in Colombia, is that they're not giving the opportunity for people to dream and to hope for a better future. All they can think about is survival, survival, survival. Am I going to have enough to eat tonight or tomorrow for the rest of the families? So why I'm so hopeful about Bitcoin is that it's taking that power back. It's bringing back value to the money that they're busting their butts off every single day. And it's really hard work, like what these people go through. So taking that power back, that money back, and to be able to think, holy crap, I don't only have enough to eat for tonight, but this is probably something that's going to help my generations to come. You know, the people in our countries don't have that mentality to think way into the future because they just don't have that choice. So this is why Bitcoin is so important, because you're taking that trust away, you're giving that power back to the people, and you're giving them the opportunity to see their potential and to dream for a better future, which is the reason why so many of us Hispanics come to the United States. The reason why we leave our families behind is because we're looking for a better future and for a way out to have an easier life, not only for ourselves, but for our families. And I just really want a world where that doesn't have to happen anymore, because all of our countries are so beautiful. They have so much to provide. The culture, the people are just absolutely amazing. There's no reason why people have to leave their native land in hopes of finding a better future, because that separates families, that separates, you know, communities, and there's just so much potential. And I'm super passionate about this, but Miles, go ahead, take the mic. I just had to rant that little bit.
No, that was beautiful, and I could feel the hair standing up on my arms as you were speaking. I saw a question in the chat on what are your thoughts on Bitcoin Beach. I'm happy to talk a little bit about what's going on down there, but I'm actually I want to give a shout out to all of you here, because y'all are on the ground all the time, living this life and fighting for the future of your countries. So I just wanted to acknowledge that out the gates. I spent a number of months in 2020. I actually went down first at the end of October down to Bitcoin Beach. I had first heard of it over the summer, but it was this experiment to try to get a circular economy going in the small town in El Salvador. It's a small beach town called El Zonte, and the goal was to get all the merchants accepting Bitcoin, whether the nicest hotel or the lady selling pupusas on the street. And all of this is powered in Bitcoin. I've honestly never, like when the lightning torch was going on a couple of years ago, and people were kind of using it for the first time, even I, who had like played around with it, I was kind of like, this is so complicated, you know? Like, what do you mean I need inbound capacity? And it felt really difficult and not ready for mainstream adoption. Being down in El Zonte for the last, I wasn't there full 6 straight months, but I popped home a little bit. But in those 6 months, watching the Lightning adoption grow and just the ease of use of it was really, really inspiring, and makes me so excited about the future. And so I can buy that 50-cent pupusa on the street for dinner, or I could pay $1,000 for a hotel for a month, all over Lightning. And so it's not just merchant acceptance. There's all sorts of programs that are being done to get Bitcoin into the hands of the folks down there. It's a small town of about 3,000 people. But what's been really, really incredible to see is the way it's spreading. And so there was a Bitcoin ATM in El Zonte where occasionally people can go if they need, if they're using Bitcoin as their primary currency, but they need some dollars to buy something that they can't purchase in Bitcoin, that allows them to do that. There's really no exchange in El Salvador that lets you interact with it online. Everything I heard, like Salvadorian bank accounts get blocked when trying to go onto Binance or Kraken or any of these sites. And so it's really hard for people to acquire Bitcoin, not in this circular economy way, which I think is the best way to get your Bitcoin, earning it, and really appreciating it and doing what you love and getting paid in the currency that's going to help you out in the future. You'd see people driving from the capital city all the way in to do $1,000 or a couple $1,000s and get their first Bitcoin. And we've seen it spread like wildfire. There's another Bitcoin ATM down the beach in El Tunco. And we're seeing more and more merchants inside of San Salvador, also just organically adopting it. So really on fire. As some of you guys may know, Strike, Jack Mallers' app recently launched there as their first non-US market. And by all accounts, it's kind of exploding. What was really interesting to see with Strike there, the way Strike works is, so there wasn't really a way for people that were holding Bitcoin to sell Bitcoin. You could send it to the ATM, get some cash out, but it wasn't like a proper exchange. But with Strike, and because of the open network that is Lightning, say I'm holding $500 in Bitcoin, and I'm worried the price is going to go down or whatnot, I can send it to Strike, and it's immediately converted into stable coins. And so I can preserve value in that way, and also do dollar peer-to-peer payments in that regard as well. So the combination of those two, I think, is really, really powerful. The global reserve currency of today and the global reserve currency of tomorrow. So all in all, it's I can't give a big enough shout out to Mike Peterson, who's the guy that helped start the program and is running it. He's a really incredible guy, but even bigger shout out to the local Salvadorans who are just busting their butts every single day to grow this program, to help their countrymen, and really be like a world leader in terms of countries adopting Bitcoin. So I have so much respect for them, so much love for them, and yeah, it's really incredible. And it's an amazing place to go too if anybody's interested in paying it a visit. But I'll shut up now and hand it off to someone else.
I recently had in my podcast Roman and other friend that works with Bitcoin Beach. Roman works with Strike, and those guys are full of energy. Like, they have the Bitcoin energy on top, and they also have a really good things to see in people that are talking and trying to spread Bitcoin adoption, that they see that it is a really powerful tool, and that it could be a really important opportunity to the people that are around there. So, like, they understand that Bitcoin could change life in El Sonte, that people could improve their life in El Salvador in general, and they deeply understand this and have this motto of helping the people with Bitcoin, that I am always bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoiners too, but those two guys make me like, whoa, we are doing a right thing. You know, I'm not selling anything. I don't need anybody to buy Bitcoin. I don't give a fuck if you buy Bitcoin, but I know that you will be better with Bitcoin, and if I can help you, and they tend to think in the same way. If we can help others to understand how you can improve your life, especially in Latin America, but in all the countries around the world, it will be amazing, because we are Bitcoiners and we are amazing. But Bitcoin is a really great tool to gain your freedom.
Yeah, Roman or Chimbera, as he's known down in El Zante, little fish. One of the things that he said that struck me the most was, I mean, El Salvador's official currency is the dollar. I don't think a lot of people know that. They dollarize. I mean, you guys probably know. I don't think a lot of people in America know that, but they have a central bank. And I'm kind of like, what does their central bank do? They're not setting interest rates. They're not printing money. But back to Roman, one of the things he said was that people, that was like so inspiring. Before Bitcoin, there was no opportunity to grow your wealth. There was no opportunity to access capital markets. And just that idea that you could have upside changed the way he thought about money, but also so many other things. Being connected to a global monetary system expanded his aspirations and what he's thinking, aspiring to. So, I mean, he's an entrepreneur. He's got his hands in about 10,000 things. Jorge, who I think you might be the other person you're referencing, is the hardest working guy I've ever met. But I mean, in Central America and the Caribbean, there's 100 million people, 65% are unbanked, and there's 70% internet penetration. So it just feels so ripe to bring this opportunity to so many more people. And to me, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Miles, one of the stories that resonated with me when I had a chance to watch some of the interviews that they were doing in Beacon Beach, right, was just that sense of their work being not only valued, but having a longevity into the work that they're putting in, right? And that definitely resonated. I think it resonates with all of us because we all have un papá, una mamá, un tío, una tía, right? That works their butt off and just genuinely just wants to make the life better for their family, and just seeing that sense of hope and the communities that was building out just was inspirational to see, and also very similar to Salvador. Ecuador is also dollarized, and what we saw in this past 2020 early 2021, like all the money printing that happened, that currency was essentially debased, and the country's never received even 1 penny, right, of the money printing, right? So it's also understanding the dynamics of all the challenges that our currency systems have all over Latin America.
Hey Eric, do you still have to leave us a bit early today?
I do need to step out a little bit, but yeah, thanks again. I appreciate the opportunity.
No worries. Well, before you go, we do something at the end of the show usually. We call it Swan Force Fridays. We put our guests on the clock and give them 60 seconds to give us their best Bitcoin pitch. So I was hoping that we could have you do yours early so you can jet when you need to.
All right, cool. Yeah, more than happy to.
Generally, the way that it works is we ask everyone to tell us who you're going to pitch. It could be anyone from all of Latin America to your tia to whoever you want. It could be someone funny as well, but we prefer them to be a bit serious. So let us know who you're going to pitch, and then we'll put you on the clock, and we'll see how it goes.
Sure. I'll pitch it to my friends in Ecuador because some of them are probably watching right now. If not, they're going to definitely watch the replay. I'll send it to them.
All right, perfect. Just 1 second. Let me do that. Cool. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay. To my fellow friends, right, that we all were children of the 90s and had a chance to, unfortunately, experience the challenges that our economies had in Ecuador in the 1990s. And with the amount of confidence that we had put in the banking system, that confidence was abused. And what's come out of that is the current economic and challenging policies that we have today. The opportunity for us in the 21st century to use a different approach, a different asset, to not only create our wealth, but to maintain the wealth that our hardworking individuals all over our country in Ecuador are doing. This is our opportunity, right? This is the generation that could make those changes for the next generation of Ecuadorianos and Latinos all over Latin America. So buy Bitcoin today.
Oh, I was giving you extra time. All right, that was great.
All right, well, thanks everyone again. Appreciate the opportunity for being here.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
That was a hell of a pitch.
Thanks, Sarah.
Should we do more pitches now, Camilla, or should we keep the combo going?
I just wanted to thought it was hilarious as we're talking about freedom and how Bitcoin is the answer, how we have the talk about these government coins. I don't know if you guys saw the news, but basically they're saying these gov coins are the new incarnation of money. They promise to make finance work better, but also shift power from individuals to the state, alter geopolitics, and change how capital is allocated. They are to be treated with optimism and humility. I just wanted to get your guys' take on this statement based on government coins.
I think
Basically,
it's
that's Fiat 2.0.
yeah, exactly. If we like right now, Miles said about 56% of Latin America is unbanked. So what is going to improve under this new system? What is the state going to provide that private enterprise can do better? If private enterprises have failed us all over Latin America with a huge amount of people that are unbanked, how is it going to be any better if politicians and central bankers are going to be in charge of that? That's not a very bright future, in my opinion.
Sure.
Of course not. The only thing that they can provide is a better surveillance system, and like better capital controls and a more effective way to inflate the way they want it. Like probably in a Dogecoin kind of style, 13 million per day, maybe like bolivares per day, like or billions per day. So I have a pretty good let's say idea about like what we represent as Bitcoiners today, facing like, for example, central banks, because we have to be clear about the thing that we are against this model. Okay, we are here like to change the paradigm. I'm not saying like to battle, to fight like in a war, like like with weapons, but with your own value. Like for me, what Bitcoin brings to the world is the possibility for people not only in Latin America, East Asia, Africa, but also people in Europe, Western Europe, and in the US that finally, like protect the value you create through your work. Of course, in our countries, in our areas, like like Latin America, it's even more valuable because we have suffered even more the hits from the central banks, like debasing our currencies and basically destroying. What's really pissed me off like all these years since I left Venezuela is like when you're in a country like Venezuela that your currency goes away. When I was in there in 2014, I mean the purchasing power was fading away like in a rate of 30% per day. So basically you went out to buy bread, and when you get to the store you couldn't make it because the bills you already had in your hands was not enough, just in the very same day. So then currently I'm here in Dubai for the ones who are joining now. Like I'm coming here, and basically this country, the central bank here, it's dollarized, okay? But they don't use dollars. They basically use dollars as a reserve currency, like all the Gulf countries do the same. So it's basically they're backing their currencies on top of the biggest, the godfather of the currencies, that's the US dollar. So you realize that how it's important like to protect your wealth, because although the dollar is going down, all the rest of the currency are going down just way faster. So at least we have to thank whoever was Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever did it. We don't know him or her or they, to finally see a way to be able to protect what we built with our sweat with our efforts, you know, in face. Because let's say right now, what I think it's these kind of things like what's happening in Colombia, sadly, is going to happen in many other places, because all the money printing that has been happening all these like all these months since not even February. It was starting in 2019. I remember, because I'm kind of a nerd of this finance stuff. I was seeing that there was a really big bubble on the stock market and this kind of stuff from 2019. And then, look, I live here very close to China. And I was seeing like a lot of tourists from China was coming here, and I was like getting the news like even quicker. So I was like, why this is happening? And then suddenly all this media, you know, like let's say mismanagement and let's say fake news, started to spread out. I was like, so why are there still, you know, if it's going to be a pandemic? Because I was looking at the things and it's like, this is going to be a pandemic or what? That was in January, because I work in a hotel, okay? And I was like having it, you know, before my very face. We were having already measures in January, you know, over here. It's like, what's going on? Why they don't close this? And they let it happen. Like, let's say, I don't want to say like a conspiracy guy, but the thing is, there was something going on in 2019, sorry, that there was a really big bubble, and it's pretty, you know, it's such a pretty coincidence that this kind of stuff happened with the pandemics. I'm not saying like it's not going on. Of course, I have seen people here, you know, getting sick and so on. The thing is, with such an amount of money printing everywhere, like we're gonna see sadly this happening all around the globe. So what we have to be aware of is that at least for 5 to 10 years, we have to work harder than ever, like as Bitcoiners, you know, as people who really believe in like free trade, or like to want to connect people from the US, like in the Bitcoin beach. Well, let's make Bitcoin beach everywhere. At least one Bitcoin beach in each country. At least something small.
There's a lot of beaches, you know, we can spread
there's a lot of beaches. Yeah, there's a lot of beaches to start over to start that kind of stuff. So I don't think it will be like everything like color, you know, rose color stuff. Like with Bitcoin, we're gonna be all rich right now. Maybe it could be, but the political situation will be kind of hard. So we need to keep that in mind as well. And one more thing, acknowledge that what's happening in Colombia, it won't get resolved by normal political means. That's why Bitcoin, that's why I say to everybody who's listening to tell to the families, like the important thing about protecting your value, protecting the work, your work, what you do, what you produce, and you'll be able to build a better future. That's it.
I wanted to ask you guys, how is it that we can multiply what's going on Bitcoin Beach in other parts of Latin America? Do you guys see that being like happening? How easy is it? How hard is it?
I think it's possible, but it's very hard. Yeah, go ahead, Fernando.
So I have an idea, because for us it's very easy to understand Bitcoin when we have 4 years or 5 years on president, which in our country change presidents 4 years or 5 years. It depends of the country. We have a new Maduro near, so we all know how Maduro think, or the lefty thinks. So for us, it's very easy to understand the situation. So when people just realize how the Bitcoin is helpful. I guess it's not it's easy, very easy to explain these guys or this about this. If you have so Bitcoin, you can send people fractions like $1 or $5. This is very because you can use this investment to teach your families, your friends. I always send $5 or $10 to my family just for explain how it works. When people see this money guys 5 or to 10 to 20, I guess it's very easy to explain another things all in Bitcoin.
Miles, wanted to ask, how do you think we could replicate what's going on down there? I mean, and not like let's copy Bitcoin Beach, but like how do we encourage more circular economies? How do we get more people, who are earning very little comparatively to the rest of the world to start using Bitcoin and Lightning and doing the work that that Bitcoin Beach has already done?
So the great part about Lightning is that you don't need to have a lot of Bitcoin. Like if you only have $300 in savings, or you can, with a small amount that's instantly transferable, it's feeless. There's great potential for payments and savings there as well. In terms of like replicating or doing something similar in other places, I do think there's potential there. What I do think it requires people like Jorge, who work tirelessly on this and who are community leaders, respected by everyone, trusted by everyone, and put in the work to ensure that it's not just about Bitcoin. It's not just about gains. It's about education, and it's about serving your community. That's been a pillar of what they're doing down there. So they've constructed a community center where they teach English lessons, they teach computer classes, and they teach Bitcoin lessons as well. All the materials are bought in Bitcoin. All the workers are paid in Bitcoin. And so in service of building a center for this community, building like a home for this community for people to gather and learn and expand, you're also distributing Bitcoin into that economy. And then when you can spend it ubiquitously, it spreads wildly because it's getting into the hands of more people. And to me, that's been my dream. I think we build a better world the more people that have Bitcoin in their hands. That's why I've been so stoked about what I do at Cash App, because in the US, it's a lot. Our customer base traditionally has been like people that wouldn't be signing up for a Coinbase account or weren't the highest net worth people. But we got Bitcoin into the hands of millions of customers, normal day-to-day Americans, as a result of us offering that. So to me, it's always been a dream job, and I love spreading the word and spreading the mission to more and more people. And it was especially powerful down in Central America. And I do think there's a possibility. I do think it's possible and admirable and a good, like, I think we should try other experiments like this and other flavors of it as well. But I do think that it requires a pillar of the community and passionate people like yourselves who are committed to growing it first on a small scale, and then have it kind of like grow organically like a fungi down the coast and into the capital city. So that's my thoughts on that.
I think that one of the key, I was going to say that one of the key components of that success from what you're saying is the education went further than just Bitcoin. It wasn't. They're teaching about computers because we're talking about people that usually live in poverty, people that don't have access to proper education, people that sometimes they have a phone but they haven't seen a desktop computer or they don't have a laptop. So It's just it's much more work than just teaching people how to use Bitcoin. Is teaching people why they have to use Bitcoin in the first place, why Bitcoin is useful for them in their situation, and yeah, it's way more complex than just teaching. Download this. This is how you create your private key or your public key, etc. Your wallet. It's much more than that.
Yeah,
disagree,
and
sorry.
I have one more final thought. I have to lead a meeting at quarter after, so I got to hop. But one thing that's been stuck in my head since being down there is if I was an international Bitcoin app going to another country, this feels like such a prime opportunity. Rather than spend $100K on Facebook ads trying to get people to download your app, why would you not go and find someone like Jorge, like Chimbera, like Mike Peterson in a town like this and put that 100,000 to inject that capital into that community and help bootstrap the circular economy and let it spill outwards and have your app be valued on its own merits for providing value to people like that. So to me, that seems like an interesting opportunity for apps that are going internationally. And I hope we see it in the future.
I love this.
It was so great to chat with all of you.
Whoa.
I know. I
think
need to go. I need to go. I'm late for a meeting. I'm sorry.
Do a 1 minute pitch.
I can't. I was pitching Bitcoin Beach for 5 minutes, so I legit have to go. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you all.
You'll have to come back. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'll be here. Yeah.
Take care. Thank you.
I asked.
So, yes, just a point, a parenthesis, because I know there are a lot of cell phones in South America. I guess there are more cell phones than televisions now. So I guess it's not necessarily a PC or computer to start to be Bitcoiner here. I guess I know a lot of people who doesn't know about any program or anything about the computers, but knows about the cell phone. So I guess the cell phone is a very nice tool to start to learn about Bitcoin.
I think it's also amazing. For example, we use in our Telegram group, we've used Lightning through our Telegram group to send each other stats. And we're all in all different parts of the world. And to us, it's just like a fun little experiment, right? To see like, oh, let's see how Lightning works. But in reality, it's true. We can definitely see that potential with just using our cell phone and sending stats to each other to educate people. I love what he said about like that human connection one-on-one. Like if we do have these leaders, for example, Atlas, oh, there he is. I know he's a person that, talks about Bitcoin with his friends and stuff. And I feel like it just takes that one person to actually start the conversation and have the patience and the passion to share all of this information with other people to actually make an impact. So I applaud all of you guys as well also, because I know, like, for example, Crypto Bastardo, with all of the information he puts out on the internet to try to educate people, that's super valuable. Eduardo, I just met you, but you're so well spoken and I can't wait to see more of your work. And Koti, all the way in the other side of the world, he's working on a website in Spanish and in English to give more basic one-on-one Bitcoin education to people. And it's always great to have Fernando always joining the conversation as well on Clubhouse, trying to educate these newcomers about like the miracle that Bitcoin is in the world that we live in today. So I just want to say, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I just wanna say like about the adoption, because I'm not like a technical guy, right? I'm just like a regular Colombian guy. So like for me, what is missing for adoption is like Bitcoiners lack conviction, in the sense like they be saying like invest whatever. Like it's like, no, like you come up to a person and you be like, I got all in Bitcoin, and so should you, because if not, you getting fucked. So it's like when you pitch it as as an option, it's not an option. So that's what I think we lacking like conviction. We have to show conviction. Like we are Bitcoiners and we have all of our money. It's not like, okay, read 10 books, invest 10%. It ain't gonna work like that.
Totally,
And another thing is like we don't have like hot chicks. And what I mean by this is it's like social media. It's social media. Like we don't have like uh super hot girls that like talking about Bitcoin with a million followers or whatever. Like we got some. Like it's getting better, but like videos for
I don't know
people.
about
Yeah,
you,
we're
but I
getting there.
saw
We're
Mia
getting there.
Khalifa chilling Dogecoin.
No, but
So
yeah, but that's Dogecoin. That's Dogecoin though, and
yeah,
and
but
The thing is,
that's the
they're
whole
coming.
thing.
They're coming.
the thing is that the guys got a blast this week because most of the guys in Bitcoin Twitter became very hot girls, and it was kind of scary
Yeah,
because I
I
had no
started that.
idea
I
who was
started
real
that.
or not. Oh yeah.
You
You
started
know,
that?
especially Gigi. Yeah, she looks so pretty.
I got I got I got like 100 new followers. All
Gigi didn't
synced
even have to
one
change
day.
his name. It just worked.
Yeah, I felt the same. I was like, no, she looks like Gigi.
But that's
Uh,
amazing, and
Yeah.
that's also part of our meme culture to like try to grab attention. You know, we've seen that the meme culture in Bitcoin has gotten international news as well in news, the laser eyes. So I think you're absolutely right. I think it's just being really strong in our conviction about Bitcoin and believing that Bitcoin is the only solution that we have in order to fix this world, or else we're completely screwed. And just continuing to come up with like those ideas of how do we get the eyes to come to us, like the attention to be on us, not just as individuals. We're just messengers. At the end of the day, we're just messengers trying to get people to get on board with us before it's too late. So love everything that you said, Atlas. Absolutely.
There is something about the adoption of Bitcoin that I think that is really contextual, that it's really linked on how fucked your country is. Because if you have money that works and you don't have any problem when spending or saving or anything, you don't will see the potential of something like Bitcoin. You will not see how great is this tool if your money works, if you are like I feel comfortable with the economy around. So this contextual thing how the adoption explodes, it's we have to take that in mind, and also that is also about the context is that maybe you are living in a reality that is harder, that could be really, I don't know, like you could be punished if you are using Bitcoin and if you are trying to move your money freely. So these two things are really important to take in mind, because even when you could be, I don't know, like spreading things about Bitcoin, if the people that you are talking to about these things can't even have the time to, I don't know, read, maybe listen to some podcasts, view some videos. If you don't have the time to make these things, the adoption of something that is inherently individual, like I choose to use Bitcoin, I choose to earn on Bitcoin, and all this is a really deep and personal solution and resolution that only relates on individuals. If you don't have the time to understand why it works to you, it is really hard to see a broad adoption. And I think that, as Atlas said, that as we are Bitcoiners right now, we need to be uh, to have conviction on what it means. Like if we are talking about Bitcoin as a tool for conquer the freedom, we need to act as it is, because if not, we are only LARPing on media and stuff like that. And I don't think that we are here to LARP, because at the end of the day, the fiat system will collapse around you. And if you are in the boat, you are safe. Maybe you can help others to jump in the boat and be safe too.
The one thing you're 100% right, Javier. The one thing I'll add though is like, even if like we should all do our best to get people in the boat as quickly as we can, 100%. But let's say like for those who miss the boat, I don't think there is really a missing the boat. I think some people might get screwed because they're in a country that is experiencing the collapse faster than others. They might see their savings get wiped out. Those are the people we need to get on board as quickly as possible. But 100 years from now, let's say, if the world is on a Bitcoin standard, like even if you're born with nobody, without a pot to piss in, with no money at all, if you're able to earn Bitcoin, save Bitcoin, and use Bitcoin, that child is better off than the child born today who under a fiat system. So
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get them on the lifeboat.
sorry about that. No, the thing is, totally, we're gonna be. I mean, sorry, the people who don't get in the boat now. Sorry, Atlas. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like most people here, like their what they're already doing is keeping pesos. So whatever, like just tell them to go all in. Like what's gonna happen? Like nothing. It's okay. Go all in. Whatever.
Number go up.
Number go up. Like fucking do it.
All right, I think this is a great place to dive into our pitches. Koti, you're gonna tell everyone why they should fucking do it. All right, and then we're gonna go to everyone else and do our little pitches.
I'm gonna improvise.
Yeah, you get the way it works, as I said before, is you tell us who you're going to pitch. We give you a minute. If you're on a roll, sometimes I'll give you more time. But have some fun with it, and do your best.
Sure. So this pitching is gonna be for a few friends in Venezuela that's still there, and I'm trying to, we're doing the best to get a business together, because in a Bitcoin beach kind of style, I'm also trying to, get in touch with my people there and like build any kind of business that trying to, as long as we can get like, if we get fiat, the dirty fiat, trying to, use it to convert it into Bitcoin and so on, but kind of building. So yeah, let's do the pitching then.
In 3, 2, 1.
So to my friends out there in Venezuela who are still not in Bitcoin, but that I've been talking to you all these days, I just want to let you know that you already know what's going on around you. So do you want to keep living in a place that, like you don't have the control over your own money, over your own work, or you want to be in a place that nobody has control over your savings, and you can work on something that will, that will build a better future for your family. Okay, so please just jump right in and let's build something together. That's it. I'm gonna be very straightforward. Thank you.
I love it. I was thinking, if you want, we can do them in Spanish.
Sorry?
I said if we want to do them again, you can do them in Spanish and English if you like as well.
Oh, well.
No
Sure.
pressure.
No,
Se le va a
it's okay.
salir el acento.
No, no hay ningún problema.
Okay, cool. Wait, are we doing them again in Spanish or no? Are we just going to do English?
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it in Spanish.
Okay, bueno.
I'll speak with my acento guaireño.
Are we getting paid double?
Yeah, I'm going to send you double the stats I was going to send you. So.
Yeah, they're gonna use it. They're gonna use it to pitch people in Miami, but I wouldn't mind it.
Bueno. Ándale.
Vale, para toda la gente allá querida en Venezuela, mis amigos, de verdad que ya ustedes saben que estamos construyendo poco a poco nuestros negocios, nuestras cosas. Les invito de verdad que se monten en la ola de Bitcoin. Esto no es una inversión, esto es un cambio de paradigma, esto es un cambio completo de nuestra vida. ¿Qué prefieren? ¿Vivir en un lugar donde su poder adquisitivo sea disminuido, sea destruido por unas personas que no les importan? ¿O que prefieren estar en un lugar donde nadie puede controlar sus ahorros y poder construir un futuro mejor? Así de sencillo. Así que si de verdad quieren estar en un lugar mejor, sencillamente móntense conmigo y vamos a construir. Eso es todo. Vamos all in. Vamos con todo.
I love that. That was great.
Thank you.
All right, who's next? Levanta su mano. No volunteers?
Since there are no volunteers, I will just go ahead.
Also, I'm going to put out an invitation. Sister Maria, if you're watching and you want to come on and do a 1-minute pitch, you're more than welcome. Send me a DM on Twitter. We'll get you on here. Bueno, who are you going to pitch today?
I'm going to pitch. I'm going to go in English because I'm going to pitch people who are sleeping very tight and living in, first world countries like the U.S., maybe England, the Great Britain. So yeah, that's the people this pitch is going to go for.
All right, in 3, 2, and 1.
To all of you people that are hearing this, you may be very happy with the way the fiat system, your current banking system works. You may be very happy living in the economy that you're living in. But let me tell you, inflation is no joke. Hyperinflation is no joke. And it's coming to you one way or another. Because the central banks measures the inflation not in the way it should be. And that's why lumber is going up like 600%. And that's why building a house or buying a house is going to be more and more expensive. The only way to circumvent this is for you to go all in into Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a fixed supply. There's no middleman. There's no censorship. There's no no in the Bitcoin network. So jump right in, join this economy, and you will not be disappointed. Be your own bank and don't trust, verify.
Very good.
All right, who's next? I'm picking people.
Let me. Okay. Maybe I cater for me, or in Portuguese. What do you prefer?
As you like. Let us know.
No, es mejor. Dale. Bueno, se trata de lo siguiente. Nosotros hemos probado durante estos últimos meses, este último año, cuota del Estado en nuestros juegos, ¿no? Muchos de nosotros hemos perdido algunas cosas, libertades más que nada. Esto ha sido de una forma centralizada porque el gobierno tiene el poder, tiene el monopolio de la justicia. Si quieres denunciar al Estado, nunca es el acusador y es el que juzga. Todo esto, solución, que es la descentralización de la economía. La Iglesia se divorció del Estado y todo el divorcio fue fantástico para el mundo. El Estado se quedó sin prácticamente una evolución en cuestión de décadas. Estamos vivenciando el divorcio de la economía y el Estado. La economía en las manos de las personas, de los individuos, realmente el dueño de la propiedad. Entonces, inclusive si quieren más informaciones, tenemos a todos los compañeros exactamente Bitcoin. Bitcoin es libertad económica y la tienes contigo mismo, no se la dejas a un político para que se la guarde. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we've got two more, Atlas and Javier, and I think Camilla's probably going to give an impassioned speech at the end that makes everyone cry. If she wants to.
I've been holding back tears. You guys have no idea. Like, it was like a mental thing this morning. I was like, you're not going to cry. You're not going to cry. So I've been doing good so far.
Yeah, I saw your video. You were going to cry. That's cute.
Yeah, there are some people in the chat asking if we are all in. I'm just gonna say I'm literally all in.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm all in. Like, listen, I'm gonna buy new clothes next year.
All right, Atlas, who are you going to pitch today?
I bet. So I'm a pitcher to just pretty much everyone. Dude, buy Bitcoin because I know for a fact that you don't save any money. That's why you're broke. So get some Bitcoin so you can start saving money and start helping people that need it. And also, so you can build a future that is worth living. That's pretty much it. So there's just 21 million. It's a winner take all. Go buy it or I'ma do it. So that's it. That's game. Take your living.
I like it. Thanks, Atlas. All right, Javier, you've done this before. You're good at it. No pressure. Who are you going to pitch today?
Voy a decirle a cualquier venezolano, this is for any Venezuelan.
Chévere.
Everybody could be living in a kind of Venezuela, but en español, ¿será? Sí. Bueno.
Sí, para todos los chamos del mundo.
Bitcoin no te pide pasaporte, Bitcoin no te pide una alineación política, Bitcoin no te exige absolutamente nada y de hecho tú no le interesas. Ni ninguna de las acciones que haga va a hacer que deje de ser inevitable. Hoy tienes una oportunidad única porque todavía estamos en plena fase de ebullición. Entra hoy a tu conveniencia o entra más tarde obligado. Es inevitable. O sea, no hay otro modelo monetario que tenga las cualidades de Bitcoin y cualquier persona que hoy por hoy tenga la oportunidad de aprender, de conocer y ojalá de ganar en Bitcoin por su trabajo, estará haciéndose un favor ganando a futuro. En Venezuela lo estamos viviendo, pero en cualquier otro país puede suceder un desastre como este, así que, bueno, tome sus previsiones y nos vamos a la luna.
No.
I wish everyone knew Spanish, just so like that's one that we're gonna have to put like little English subtitles.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna fix that because hold on a second. We've got, where is it? I'm pretty sure Javier just like said everything he did in his video that's playing on Bitcoin TV. He didn't even come up with anything new. He just said the same shit all over again. Hold on.
Copy paste.
Give me a second. Oh, where is it? Almost.
He just be recycling this shit.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, I got it on point. Everything is perfect. This is my pitch. I stand by it. While Brecky looks that up, I just want to say to you guys, once again, thank you so much for coming in the show. As you all know, you guys are, and I don't care who hears this, but you guys have a very special place in my heart as Bitcoiners. Like I said, you know, the Latino community, we're very tight-knit, brothers and sisters. We share a lot of common things in terms of struggles and beliefs, etc. And something that I kept thinking about is that you're right. Whether people don't join right now, us as Bitcoiners, I truly believe that we're the leaders of tomorrow, that we're going to have the capability of creating a better world, a better place, especially when, you know, we have a financial way of doing so. And I'm just really glad to know that you guys have amazing hearts, amazing minds, amazing souls. And that is exactly what our world needs. Leaders that no one has to trust us, but the work that we do comes from the heart, and it's for a better future for everyone. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Camila.
Thank you, everyone, for joining
We all
us.
want to live in a better world.
All right, I'm gonna play this video that makes me cry every time I watch it and embarrass Javier. Put Javier right here. It's so good.
Mi nombre es Javier, pero me puedes llamar José, María, Jesús, Gino o Satoshi. Venezuela es un país lleno de gente buena, pero atraviesa uno de los momentos más tristes de su historia por culpa de unos espíritus. Nosotros, en Satoshi en Venezuela, queremos que todos sepan la buena nueva de Bitcoin como una opción para salir del desastre. Uno a uno, por ti, por nosotros, por nuestro futuro. Apóyanos y disfruta de Bitcoin TV.
Woo. All right, I have a
That's a
question.
powerful one.
Wow.
That was fire, bro. That was fire.
Dale, Javier.
Congratulations. This is the best video I see. Yeah.
So here's the question: who's gonna start Satoshi in Cartagena?
Gotta be me then.
I think you need your first franchise. We're gonna expand. Multi-country organization, Javier.
It's gonna be called Satoshi LFG.
Before Satoshi in Venezuela grows as it is today, because we are a middle known, I don't know, project. I thought with Bitcoin Miami, and they said exactly this idea. Like, if we can connect with other people, I can send them my playbook. Like, if Michael Saylor opened his playbook, I will open mine too, because it is easy. If you have this invitation to make Satoshi in Peru, Satoshi in Bogota, I don't know, wherever, I will help you to do it, because we are trying to connect with other people that are facing the same problems that we are facing. We are not special because of Bitcoin. We don't have powerful minds and special knowledge. It is only our commitment to use this tool to improve our lives from an individual perspective, but it could be a more broad movement of Bitcoiners.
No worries.
See,
I'll
matter of fact, like
Satoshi
Javier and
Middle
I,
East.
we're making some stuff for Latin America. It's coming. We got some ideas and shit.
And this is the beautiful thing about connecting with each other, because honestly, there's so much talent, so much potential. This is the whole point of doing these shows as well, to connect people around the world, Bitcoiners around the world. We don't know who's seeing this, who's on the chat, who can be the next person that does something magnificent for Bitcoin. We just need all of that talent and passion and mentality together. And yeah, I feel super blessed to be here with you guys, because this feels like it may be something very small, but at the grand scheme of things, we're building a movement for the future. And I truly believe that we're going to make the change that is needed.
We're building the change one block at a time.
There you go.
All right, everyone. This has been a fantastic show. Reach out to Javier if you want to start your own Satoshi in Venezuela somewhere else. He's going to open up his playbook. Reach out to all these folks for anything, because they're Bitcoiners and they will help you. Reach out to Camilla if you want to learn more about the situation in Colombia and maybe how you can get involved. I think that's it, everybody. Go to swanbitcoin.com if you haven't signed up. Come on, you know the drill. And maybe we should just have ourselves a little dance party before we go.
I'm down.
Use my Swan referral code. Use my Swan. You already know. Copy, help me out. But yeah.
Wait, say it again.
No, I just no. Use Swan.
He's like,
Stuck
never
with
mind.
Swan.
Yeah, no, use his referral code.
Oh
Yeah, I don't got one. That I just.
We'll
You
get
should
you.
make one. Make one,
Yeah,
Atlas. You're missing out.
Okay. I'll make one. All right. Okay.
Are we dancing or what?
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for inviting me, Camila. Like, I had a great time. Much love.
You cannot see
You know,
me, but I'm dancing.
because you're Colombian, I like you more. But you know, like I like all of you. So, and thank you to all the friends that shit post with me. Like, you're
See
close
you,
to my
thank
heart.
you. It was a pleasure being here.
One day I'm going to go to Venezuela, by the way. I'm going to try Javier's food. He's going to take me to the dance clubs one day. It's on our to-do list.
Yeah.
We all
Bro, you need to try Reina Pepiada. Brecky, try Reina Pepiada.
I'll give you the details.
Brecky, you need to try Reina Pepiada. Once you try it, man, you're gonna go crazy.
I am so glad that we
Reina
didn't get into
Pepiada,
the discussion of where arepas come from, because that would have turned into like.
We know where the arepas come from, Camila.
Venezuela.
No, hey, don't play me, bro.
There you
Hey,
go,
don't play
Brecky.
me, bro. Hey, don't play me, bro.
Let's keep it for another live.
Colombia can be better at football, and Venezuela can have the arepas, or the other way
No,
around.
Exactly.
both of the things.
No.
They can have nothing. They can have nothing. Like, this guy, he ain't Colombian. He ain't talking for me. They got nothing.
Sorry, Atlas.
I can't hear you. I'm not getting into this argument.
This is
We all
exactly
know-
what we meant our brothers and
We all
sisters.
know arepas are from Venezuela. It's a fact. That's it.
Cut the show. Cut the show.
All right, everyone. I think that's it before this turns into a real argument. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next week. We're going to be having.
Let's jump on Twitter. Let's keep fighting that on Twitter.
Let's go.
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for this. Take care of all of you.
In America, they argue about who invented the
Bye, guys. Bye.
All right, folks, we'll see you next week. We're going to have Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert on, as well as Stephanie Sprague. It's going to be a great episode. We'll see you there. Thank you, Camilla, for organizing this episode. And we'll see you next time.
Do the shimmy.